You're listening to Pole Parlour, a fun, inspiring podcast for all those bewitched by pole dance. Each week, your Madam Crimson Minxxx has candid conversation with unique, engaging individuals from within and around the pole dance community. Pole Parlour is passionate about preaching creativity, soulful sensuality, and empowerment through pole dance.
You know how we do.
Welcome everyone to Pole Parlour. This is episode 15, Maggie Ann. I'm your host, Crimson Minxxx. On this episode, we have Maggie Ann. Maggie is a pole dance performer, instructor, and competitor from Central Massachusetts. On this episode, we talk about her recent first runner-up victory at Miss Pole Dance America, the realities of participating in and judging pole dance competitions, finding your voice as a dancer, or what we refer to as being a movement artist, and what it's like being a full-time pole professional. And as always, head over to the blog at poleparlour.com to check out Maggie Ann's post-podcast interview where she shares her favorite photos, music, video, and more. So without further delay, here's Maggie Ann. Welcome, Maggie Ann, to the Pole Parlour podcast. How are you today?
Hello, I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Oh, doing so well. So happy to have you here. So we can jump right on in. How long have you been poling, and how did you first discover pole dance?
Well, I've been poling for a little over 4 years now, and the way I got into it, I can't exactly remember what brought me to looking it up online or what made me think of pole dancing, but for some reason I was online looking for something new to do. I was in a long-distance relationship at the time. We lived about 600 miles away from each other and saw each other maybe twice a year. So I wanted to do something to surprise him. So it was something new and different and fun. So I ended up looking up pole dancing and found one in the area. So I started attending class and absolutely fell in love with it. Just fell in love with it. And in the end, ended up falling out of love with the boyfriend in the long-distance relationship and have been in a committed relationship with pole for about 4 years now. So.
Yeah, boys are temporary, pole's forever.
Exactly.
Here.
Let me see. Yeah, my pole's still out there in the studio. Okay.
That's so cool. And so did you have a dance history or like an athletic history or anything? Because 4 years you've gotten very good and have accomplished a lot in such a short amount of time.
It's I never had a dance background. I was never a dancer. I think maybe when I was 5, my mother tried to put me in ballet, and I ended up kind of running out of there, crying and not wanting to have anything to do with it. So dance has never been on the top of my list of things that I'm good at, but I started soccer about the age of 6 and just continued it until about 18, 19. And, so it was just soccer all year round. Then I got into club teams. So it was just a lot of hips going side to side, knocking girls over, hip checking, not so much in a circle as they do now. So
yeah. Wow. So I think, that's funny because I think Sarah Jade also has a history in soccer, if I'm not mistaken. So there must be I'm pretty sure I read that. I don't know, but
see, we can be reformed as soccer players.
Yeah, I played soccer as well, so it must just be something. Well, at least you know how to commit to something and how to be, really push through those tough physical moments. But then when you get older, you're like, I want to do something a bit more with my feminine side, or don't want to be running around outside for 60 minutes being that rough. So
I actually did hula hoop for picked it up about 2 years before I started pole. So just speaking off the wanting to do something a little more feminine, I saw that as a form of dance that I could do without actually just being me dancing. I could actually hold something and distract people from my dance moves, and it's look what the hoop does, not look what I do.
Oh, that's a really cool way to think about that. Yeah, because you're transitioning into like more flowing movement as opposed to more jarring movement, even though you still get just as much, if not more, bruises in pole as you would from, soccer or something, a sport like that. But yeah, so, Yeah, the hoop and the pole, both something that is like an apparatus that can help you transition into to feeling more comfortable in your dance flow.
Exactly.
Cool. And so are you a full-time pole dancer now? Is it like your job?
Yeah, for about a year now, I've been doing it. I got laid off of my job last year. I was a administrative, did shipping, stuff like that. You know, basic 8-hour day, sitting at a desk, sucking my soul out through a computer. You know, that kind of stuff.
The universe works in mysterious ways sometimes.
Yeah, so instead of panicking and freaking out and trying to find a new job right away, I kind of took it as an opportunity to explore this pole thing. You know, how can I, continue this? How can I make this something that I do every day where I'm happy with what I'm doing? And I was approached by a student of mine, and he said, I believe in you. I think that we could absolutely make this work, so I'd love to start a studio. And we did that 3 months after I got laid off in March last year, and we've been going strong ever since.
What's the name of the studio, and where is it located?
It's Paradigm Pole Fitness, and we're in Worcester, Massachusetts.
Cool. Wow. Is there many other studios in that area, or were you kind of...
Yeah, there's in the surrounding, probably about 25 minutes in one direction is the closest studio.
Okay, so it's not like condensed at this point.
Oh, no. We're the only real pole studio in Worcester. So it's really good. Everyone's far enough away from each other that we're not all stepping on each other's toes, but close enough that we can actually, work in between each other's studios. So students sometimes go, between two studios, which I think is great. You should never pigeonhole yourself to just one instructor all the time. It's great to learn, from different people. I mean, I still take level 2 classes from, anyone that I can get, because it's always good to work on stuff that, I don't so much work on anymore.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Collaboration and not seeing each other as competition, but as, how can you work with each other? Exactly.
I mean, it's great. I enjoy it. So.
Wow. So you open the studio.
Yeah.
And you compete a lot, but just out of curiosity, as a full-time dancer, like what would your average day be like then? So, or week, because I know it probably, what comes with all of that?
It's just, getting up, dealing with emails right off the first thing in the morning. I also teach at another studio, so I kind of, split my hours. Any given week, it's 16 to 20 classes a week that I teach.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's intense. Hence the guns. Look at your biceps. That's...
So I teach a lot, but I love teaching, and I'm learning to, delegate the classes a little bit more, so give them away sometimes when I need a break and stuff like that, and not take all the responsibility on myself. But I've learned to ask for help. We just hired we just transitioned one of the students into one of the instructors here at Paradigm. So it's been a nice break to kind of go, hey, my arm's hurting me today. Can you cover? Yeah. And then I can just relax and what is this?
Or you're traveling to Colorado to judge a competition and you just are not going to be present.
Exactly. I have been traveling a lot the past month. It's been about 5 weeks. Every weekend I've been gone so far. It started with Miss Pole Dance. It moved on to Colorado. I've got CPC this weekend. I've got PoleCon next weekend. So.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that brings us perfectly into the next thing I wanted to talk to you about, because, other than running a studio and having those responsibilities, I mean, you're essentially training as an athlete, right? Because you have won a ton of competitions in the past couple years, 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, it's about 2 years now.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, Maggie Ann just won first runner-up in Miss Pole Dance America in Nashville, which is incredible. And I'm going to put that performance, Alethea and her team cut a really nice video of you, so I'm going to put that in the show notes so people can go check it out.
Awesome.
And I saw you win, I don't know the name of the competition, but it was at Pole Expo in Las Vegas last year.
Yeah, the Pole Classic.
Pole Classic, okay. So you won that last year.
Yes.
And so you're an amazing competitor and performer.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what do you think makes for a good competition piece?
I think it's all dependent on people's, what they like to do. Me personally, I need a character and a story to connect to. Otherwise, it just feels like I'm putting on the radio and just getting up on stage and dancing. I need that connection, that kind of, I need something to drive me, that fire inside. So I feel like when I find a character and I find a story, that's something that's propelling me. So now I've got to, do the story justice, and I've got to figure out how to take the story and make sense in pole, where I'm still doing pole moves, but they're still telling the story as I go. I think, for me personally, I love when I see a character and I see connection with the audience and I see that fire in their eyes. And, I find that to always be a great competition piece.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can tell, and, as someone watching from the audience, you can tell who has that. So what's that process look like? Like, do you just get inspired by a song first, or are you inspired by a character first, or an emotion that you're trying to feel?
It really, it's all over the place. Like Miss Pole Dance, I was talking with a friend of mine and she said, oh, what are you going to do? Because I let her know, we've got to present our ideas and stuff. And I said, I want something strong and something powerful, but very, feminine at the same time. And then I mentioned, something like Joan of Arc. And I said it out loud and kind of went, huh. And then it kept popping up randomly in things that I would see online, or like a TV show I was watching or something. That name would keep popping up, and it was just basically screaming at me to like take this and do it. So, or it could be sometimes it's a song that I hear, like Roxanne. That was in my list of what I wanted to do I had that for about 3 years. I wanted to do a competition piece for it, and I didn't ever feel ready enough to do it. I didn't feel like I could match that music. And then, for nationals and pole classic, it felt so right, and I just had to do it, so I usually go by gut feeling, and the minute I get those goosebumps, the minute I feel those goosebumps, I'm solid. I know that's the song, or that's the thing I want to do.
Yeah, it's been working out for you. So do you have advice for anyone who's never competed before and is looking to start breaking into competitions? Any like suggestions or advice for them?
Just stay true to yourself. Don't look at other people and go, I've got to do that. I've got to be that. I want to be that. I have to move like that. I'm not a dancer. I don't dance when I'm on stage, really. I find ways to move that feel true to myself, that feel like I'm showing me. I'm not trying to just throw in a dance move that I don't really know how to do, or because I feel like, you watch some people and you're like, wow, that's really amazing. I really admire that, but that's not me. So I've got to stick to what's me. And I think that comes through on stage when you see that genuineness, that natural, this is the way I move, I think that's incredibly important, because I see so many people with so much pressure on themselves to, go into this. It's got to have this, and it's got to have this, and it's got to have this. You have to get on stage and feel good with what you're doing. So if you're not happy with what you've put in because you're trying to add all these things you think you need in there, then in the long run, you're going to be disappointed, and
makes sense.
Yeah. You want to stay true to yourself. And, when you're practicing, don't go by what other people are doing. Just practice the way you practice. My practice is sporadic and all over the place, and sometimes I come in and just touch a pole and want to cry, and then sometimes I come in and I feel really great. It's not a pretty process, but it is the process. It's something you have to learn to just love and embrace, and realize that it's going to change and you're going to have to adapt to it, and that's just the way it's going to be.
Yeah. Because you said that you don't dance, do you have a hard time connecting to yourself as like calling yourself a dancer?
Yes.
Really?
That's why it's a performer. I perform. I'd rather just, because I don't feel like I dance. I feel like my body hears the music. Mm-hmm. When you put a song on and you just kind of like, you're messing around next to the pole before you do a move, and you'll just be like, do like a body roll or like a head flipper, and then you do something with your hands. It's something like that, when the music kind of tells your body what to do, and you just follow suit. It doesn't have to be something specific. It doesn't have to be a specific dance move. It just has to be
Movement.
what you think you need to do. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So maybe we'll call you a movement artist. How about that?
There you go. That's perfect.
If you're still acclimating to dancer.
Definitely.
So do you have like other competitions lined up? Is that kind of your focus in your career right now, to be working your way through the competition circuit? And what really draws you to that? And do you anticipate getting out of it? Or are you over it?
That's the thing. You're always, like Miss Pole Dance America. After that, I was like, oh, that's, this broke me. I think I'm done. I think I'm just, you get in that emotional response kind of time, and you're just stressed out and everything. But I think I want to give myself some time. I'm going to, put competing on the back burner for a while until there's a competition that comes up that, maybe like pole theater next year. That is something I'm definitely aspiring to do. I would love to get a chance to be on that stage. It just was too much this year to try to do it. So, I think in a year, I just want to go back to kind of honing my teaching skills and being able to just get on the pole for me, not get on the pole and go, okay, I've got to put this together and I've got this coming up and this coming in. I just want to just move and just,
Yeah. I give you so much credit. I give everyone who competes and even performs so much credit, because that stress of having to put yourself out there, but also train intensely for it. And then you kind of, it is your job. And then you kind of lose that just freeness of going and taking a class, because you're like, I got to work on that one thing.
Exactly. So you're like, okay, maybe I'll just rest and I just won't go to that class. And now I want to go back to the gym and I want to just freestyle again for the hell of it. And yeah. That's
cool, because the competitions will always be there. And as more performances are coming, are being developed and coming about, I could see, would you have interest in doing more performance and not the competitive circuit for?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Without a doubt. I'm going to be performing at the Pole Star Showcase at Pole Expo. So
okay. Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I'll get to do that, and I'm very excited about that. Fanya, approached me, and I was very flattered, and
since you won it
excited.
Last year, you could just showcase this year.
But I'm so excited for that, because it doesn't have to, now I get to just explore and try new things and, like you said, make it more movement based this time rather than, maybe pulling out a huge story. Maybe I just get to finally just, move to music rather than have to dictate something. So definitely performances would be nice. It's just, New England over here, it's very hard too. We're not LA, and we're not, any of these bigger cities that have a lot of performance opportunities.
Yeah.
But I've created some for my own. Did a charity showcase last year for a couple months. So we picked a different charity every month and had a bunch of the local students and teachers come and perform. And it was just a fun night. We changed the theme every time.
Oh, that's really cool that you were able to do that. So, but the competitions, it is really what has given you the recognition, right? And how
absolutely.
That kind of like leads to now being able to be more selective with your performances and things like that. Is that kind of, I've been doing this podcast for a while now, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around like, well, okay, so how does this process work when you are a full-time pole dancer? Like, how do you make it work? And it seems like, the competition circuit is where you get your name out there and that you can kind of jump board into what you want to do next.
Absolutely. It definitely is a great stepping stone to, get to where you want to be. And sometimes, if you're not so keen on competing, a necessary evil that you just may have to just go in and do it. For me, it was just not having a place to perform and just going, okay, well, there's a competition, so that's a stage and I can get on that stage. And it wasn't so much about winning. It was just about being able to tell my story and, making sure that I told it the way I wanted to. So.
Yeah, so many people I've talked to enter into competitions for that very reason, which is very cool because it allows you to flex your creative muscle and, showcase your talents and, and invite people to come watch you, where a lot of times those opportunities don't exist otherwise.
Exactly.
And then, but you also judge competitions.
I am so stressed out when I judge.
Really?
Because, I now have people's fate in my hands, and it's incredibly stressful because you never want to tell someone who's put so much time and so much effort and so much heart into their pieces that, put them into a numbered ranking and say, well, you got 8th and you got 10th, and it hurts me to do that, because I understand from the other end what goes into it. I've come from competing to judging, so I absolutely understand the other end of it. And it's just, it's a little bit heartbreaking for me sometimes to have to do that to people. So I always, encourage people, if you want to, send me an email and be like, okay, so, what do I need to improve on? Like, that's what I would rather do, just be able to give feedback. But, it's competition, so you have to do it. And so, yeah, but just know that it as judges, we are very stressed out. We're on the panel cheering for you guys. When we see that you're almost going to slip out of something, we're sitting there going, come on, girl, come on, get that leg in there, get that hand on there. So it's,
you're not just sitting there drinking cocktails like, nah.
Exactly. We're not just sitting back there going, yeah, whatever. Just like all judgy with our faces. It's not like that. It's a really hard job. And, Colorado this past weekend was so difficult. There was so much talent on the stage, and, usually there's like a very clear winner, and sometimes, you have people trickling in, but it was just, talent after talent after talent. So it was such a pleasure to watch, but it was so fucking hard to, can I say that? Okay.
Totally.
All right. Okay. Cause I'm a sensory stuff. Yeah. It was so fucking hard to do. It was really, really difficult. But just know that it's not coming from, we're not looking down at you at all. We have to, put you in a placement, and, but it's hard for us.
It's your job.
It's our job, exactly, but it's still very difficult, so.
Yeah, but it sounds like you really enjoy teaching. I mean, you have to if you're teaching that many damn classes a week, my word.
Oh, yeah.
So you, I'm not sure what this is, but I saw that you have developed a program called Hybrid Fit.
Yes.
Can you talk about that?
It's a fitness program that my friend Dashel and I got together and designed. It's basically to improve your athletic performance using a combination of strength and conditioning and stabilization and flexibility training. So it's combining all these elements of pole, but presenting them in a different light, in a more fitness-based setting. So what we do is we kind of offer customized plans for people. We offer nutrition advice. We don't actually make meal plans for people because obviously we're not qualified to do that, and there's no way that I'm going to do that, but I will share my experiences with them with the research that I've done, because we want to be informed, and we want to have knowledge, and we want to pass that on to people. So we definitely give you guys information in addition to the fitness regimen that we have put together.
Oh, that's cool. So people can reach out to you and work with you one-on-one, just in terms of like maybe in tandem with their training for whatever they're trying to achieve.
Exactly. So they should shoot us a message and they say, hey, we have a little dialogue about what they want to accomplish, how we can help them accomplish it, the resources that they are that's readily accessible to them. And then we just build the plan off of that, so we have these gym plans for people, and then we've got these videos that we send them for, if you don't know how to deadlift, here's a video of us explaining how to deadlift. You don't know how to do like a bicep curl, here's a video of us explaining how to do a bicep curl. So
gotcha.
It's so we definitely provide everyone with, we're not just sending you out into the gym going, okay, do this, and this. Good luck. Yeah.
You could get that off the internet for free, but it's more like also the accountability and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We always talk on this podcast about cross training for pole, and how everything from burlesque to, belly dancing to poling to everything is part of like your tool belt for being a poler. And this is no exception, that it's strength training.
Yeah.
So you don't hurt yourself because you get all excited and then you really want to do this trick, and then, if you don't have the strength for it, it can really lead to injury. So yeah,
and we've had a lot of focus on stabilization.
Okay.
Very very important when, you've seen a lot of shoulder injuries lately.
Yeah,
a lot
you're right.
of, twisted grip things. And so we kind of go through the balancing of the upper body and how to keep yourself from these different pains that you're going to have, twisting the shoulder in a way that it's not engaging, but you're just holding on and tearing things when you don't realize it. It's giving people that good base foundation so that, in the long run, that foundation isn't going to crumble underneath them. It's going to stay solid and they're just going to continue to build on it.
So important, because I see so many people sidelined for injuries, and it's just because you're right, you don't have that solid foundation. So I'm gonna put your information in the notes if anyone wants to reach out to you about the program, because it sounds really cool, especially people who are like really getting into wanting to progress in their tricks.
We absolutely help us. So that's another thing that we send in. They can ask for pole lessons, like Skype lessons on top of, we have people that are local that do it, that we offer, okay, you have this many pole lessons, you have this many gym sessions, this many, of whatever else, flexibility training. And then it's just, they can contact us any hour of the day if they have questions on anything. So it's definitely, we're there for the accountability for it, and we're there to offer the information for you.
Oh, wow. What a cool program.
Yeah.
And so you're also a brand ambassador for Rad Polewear. Sorry, there was no segue into that. I just remembered I wanted to ask you that. So we're off hybrid fit, but now on to Rad Polewear. I'm curious, what does it mean to be a brand ambassador? Like, what does that entail? How did that relationship start? I'm always curious when I see this.
So I got contacted November of 2013 by Rad. This is before I had gone into any professional competition, had made a name for myself at all. I was just this little person on Instagram, putting up little Instagram videos and, just being happy and doing whatever before the competition circuit came around. Oh, wow. And it's so they contacted me, made me an offer. And that time, Maggie Ann was on there, Manuela, Maddie Sparkle. So I'm looking at these huge names and I'm going, me? Are you sure you got the email right? But they, I obviously graciously accepted right away. Mm-hmm. And it's been great. They're a great company to be an ambassador for. So obviously they send me awesome clothes and I get to wear them.
Their stuff is so nice. Their stuff I would call rad.
Yeah, it's only getting better. It just, every time they send me something new, I'm like, are you guys fucking kidding me? Like, I can't, they'll send me pictures of things and going, hey, just pick out what you want. And I'm like, do I have to decide or can you just send it all to me? Yeah, it's amazing. They just continue to grow so quickly, and the quality is just great. And the girls themselves, Evie and Amalia, are just sweethearts, so they're great. They're not just, there in business wise. We talk in little messages. We have like little groups. So it's wonderful. But, in addition to getting to wear the clothes and do all that stuff, it's representing the company, at least in my opinion. When I'm on stage or when I'm at an event or, if I'm wearing their clothes or just in general, I'm tied to them. So I want to be able to represent them, in a good light and have it, reflect well on them, that they've chosen, people that, can be respectful in the community, yada, 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 all that stuff. Yeah. So it's just, it's like a little family, a little community. And then, we just help promote each other. So and that's another thing. It's a great support system.
Yeah.
So they support me, I support them. And it's just this back and forth relationship. It's just great. It's great.
Where are they located? Are they in Greece?
Greece.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yep.
Yeah, if anyone's listening and you haven't heard of Rad Polewear, their stuff is super nice. So I definitely recommend checking them out. Tell Maggie Ann sent you.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. So kind of tying it all together, what is your trajectory moving forward? Where do you see yourself in the pole world?
I have no idea, because I have no idea what's going to happen, where it's going to go, what I'm going to feel like doing. I just know that I want to keep teaching, and I love teaching. So I just know that needs to stay as a constant in my life. I get so much joy out of it, and it's I could have a really crappy day and just feel really shitty and then come into the studio and it kind of just melts away for the 4 hours that I'm here, and I get to be around people that I absolutely love seeing, and it's so great, that it's like a little escape. I almost feel selfish at times because I come here and I'm like, you guys make me feel so good. And
you get paid for it.
Exactly. It's very hard to believe that this is my job and it's what I do for work.
Yeah. So cool. Yeah. And I wanted to ask you just about quickly your experience with Miss Pole Dance America. What was that like? And what's like, congratulations, by the way. It's such an honor to be selected for that.
It was crazy. It was a roller coaster. It was all over the place. I got there and a lot of things were messed up. The hotel was messed up. It was just nothing that had to do with the competition, just reservation stuff.
Stuff.
It was Friday the 13th. It was, the first time I actually experienced Friday the 13th firsthand. And it was, so that was definitely a roller coaster of a day. And then Saturday came around and tech rehearsal was very sketchy for me. I didn't feel like I was connecting and I didn't feel on, and I was then in my head and stressed out and this and that. But it was, it was surrounded by great people. So, friends saw that I was struggling and they kind of pulled me aside and they were like, hey, what's going on? Just so, we went into the pole room and just kind of reworked what I wanted to do. They just were just like, basically holding me accountable. Okay, get in here, just do what makes you feel good, because I wasn't taking my own advice that I mentioned earlier. I was saying, I've got to have this and I've got to have that and I've got to have this. And they were like, just let that go and just do what you're going to do. And after that, I felt great. I felt like relieved and like I was ready to get on stage and do Joan of Arc proud. Yeah. And, you can only, you've got that one shot and you just have to get on there and just lay it all out there. And it's everyone's going to have, I wish I had done this. I wish I had done that. It's just the way it's going to be, so you just have to love it for what it is.
Yeah. You have to enjoy it. And it's a good competition to end on, like, why, as you said, you really want to concentrate on teaching and things like that. Like, it's such a major, impressive competition to even been chosen to dance in. So
yeah, and I think that's why I felt so much pressure, because I was like, man, this show is big. This is like, I am with some big names on the stage, but it was not a competition vibe at all.
Cool.
It was like, almost like we're all backstage singing Kumbaya. It was just everyone was so supportive and so like amped up for each other. There was a little monitor backstage, so the girls would kind of, we'd gather around and we'd watch whoever was on stage and be cheering them on from backstage, and they would come off and, people would be like bowing and people would be high-fiving each other and hugging each other. And it was just such a great vibe back there that you couldn't feel stressed out really, because everyone was just so supportive. No one was, side-eyeing you or trying to like size you up. We were all just there to just get on stage and present what, you spent months preparing for, and get to tell your story and bring the show basically. And that's what it felt like. It felt like a show that, you just ended up placing at the end.
Yeah. Lathia's done a really good job at setting it up that way. So
yeah.
So much respect to her for that, and for, the disposition of all the girls who are like true professionals involved that
it was
maintain that level of integrity and support.
Yeah, and I'm usually not one to watch, other people's performances before I go on, but I couldn't not watch it, Like Lux was on before me, I couldn't not watch that. So
yeah, understandably, like coming out on a bed and working it. How can you close your eyes to that?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. So so now you're if people want to find you, you're taking a little break from competing. You'll be teaching. Will you be traveling doing workshops though? Or?
Yes. So CPC this weekend for PSO, I'll be doing workshops at the Brass Ring.
Okay.
From 3 to 5. That's sold out. I am at PoleCon next Friday for a signature tricks workshop. Yeah, down in Fort Worth.
In Fort Worth, Texas. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then get a break for a while. I was actually considering doing like a little mini East Coast thing. Mm-hmm. Just kind of running up and down the East Coast, something simple that isn't too much travel, like getting on a plane and coming back and getting on a plane and coming back. But the next thing I have is going to nationals and judging that, and possibly performing there. Not sure yet. Workshops are going to be set up. Pole Expo, I've got workshops there.
Cool.
Be performing in the Pole Star Showcase. I get to see my rad girls again because they'll be there. So
Yeah. Cool.
yeah.
Okay. So let's jump into our standard closing questions that we ask everyone, because I realize I kind of led you into one of those questions already. So before I ask more about that or put your information out there, who is your pole crush?
This is so hard for me because I can't just pick one because there's so many things that I love and so many different people. Okay, so we'll go way back.
Okay.
The very first pole crush that I had, that I was like, this girl is making me feel things that, I'm getting a little hot in here. And it was actually Sarah Jade's performance from Florida years ago. I don't know if she got first or second. Might have gotten second. I'm not entirely sure, but I watched. It was just like one melty thing into another, into another, into another, into another. She did this shoulder mount, chest dismount thing, and her legs curled all the way under. Like, still to this day, actually the post is probably on my Facebook somewhere from long ago, where I said, yeah, this is definitely my first pole crush. So yeah, that was definitely probably the first person that I was crushing on for pole. Now it's like I look at everyone and I'm like, yes, you,
So
yeah,
hard
you.
mold them all together. But that's so cool because everyone brings something different. So that's,
Yeah, definitely.
there's not just that one person that no one else can compare to. It's like everyone's bringing something different to the table, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But we all need that intro crush that really draws us in. Like, oh, I need to start taking more classes because I need to learn to do that. I want to move like her. I want to be able to do what she just did with her legs.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what it was. It was just, a way of dance that I just didn't move like that. I didn't have that liquidy kind of feel to it. So I actually then spent some time starting to freestyle and starting to try to find that, that natural kind of liquid body movement, and it's not that kind of sexy, side that she has, but it's, developed into my own thing. So it's definitely, you get inspiration from anywhere. It's awesome.
Yeah. You pull what is meaningful to you from people's performances, and that's, going to be different from person to person. So
yeah.
Cool. And so how would you like to see the pole community evolve over the next 5 years?
I just want us to see us actually evolve. Okay. I feel like some people are trying to devolve it in terms of trying to pigeonhole it and put it into one thing. Like, we should be this or we should be this. Like, no, we should be a million things. We should be just branching off and everything. Like, you've got, aerial spinning pole now and things like that. I just want it to keep evolving, and not having people to say this is one way to do it and that's the way you got to do it in the end, because that's not going to get us anywhere. And, we don't need to worry about society accepting us and this accepting us. Like, fuck them.
Yeah.
Fuck them. If they don't accept us the way we are and the way we dance, then that's not our fucking problem. As long as we're happy with what we're doing, I think that will keep us evolving. But the minute I feel like we worry about how we're presented to people who don't pole and this and that, or try to market ourselves so we're more presentable to them, like, nah, disingenuous, just stop.
Yeah, it's the same thing how you were talking before about how when you're planning a competition piece, don't worry what other people are doing.
Yes.
Do what's to yourself. That relates in the same way, where stop trying to please others.
Exactly.
So I agree with that 100%. That's a great way of putting it.
Awesome.
And so we touched on this before. Sorry, I've been a little scattered this interview.
It's all right. But it's right along with me.
Yeah. Lots of stuff going on. Shiny objects all around. But we already started talking how you're doing workshops and how you you're going to try to focus on teaching, but maybe, do some East Coast traveling. But is there anything else you want to share with our audience? And then how can people find you online and on social media?
That's pretty much what I have going on. Okay. We have traincations offering through our studio, Paradigm. Okay. Hans, the guy who opened the studio, So what you do is you'll stay with him at his beautiful Victorian pink palace that he has.
What?
And so that's included. So you don't have to worry about, getting a hotel or anything. It's just factored into the price. And you basically get to choose your own little thing. So you can choose how many privates you want, how many classes you want, how many days you want to be here for. And so it's, people can come here.
What's that called?
It's just like it's a little traincation.
Traincation, okay.
Yeah. So you come out for a little vacation, but you're definitely going to train while you're here. So
Gotcha. I'll put the link to your studio in the show notes if anyone's interested, because I'm assuming there's a link to that.
Awesome. Yes, there definitely is.
Cool.
And you can find me on Instagram, Maggie_falling, because when I started the Instagram, I was not great at pole. So there was a lot of falling involved. So now the name kind of confuses people. They're like, oh, I never understood why it was called that.
I thought it was because you liked drop moves or something. Like, I always picture you doing like one of those like really dramatic fall drop moves. And I was like, She just must really like that. So that's how she defines herself through her Instagram name. Okay. It was because you're falling on your head a lot. So.
Oh yeah. There's actually even a picture on there of me trying to do a handstand and then me mid eating shit onto the boxes I used to work at. So yeah.
See, guys, even Maggie Ann struggled at the beginning at some point. So hang in there.
Yep.
Awesome. And then, so before we sign off, can you leave us with an empowering message or quote or anecdote?
So I can't remember it word for word, but it's by Joseph Conrad. And you know what? I actually probably have it in my notes because I keep a list of quotes that kind of, get me for different things. So I have quotes before I go on stage and quotes for when I'm just in the studio training and quotes for everyday life. But all right. So the quote that I like for just kind of every day when I wake up and I'm having a hard time getting myself up and getting to the studio and whatnot, it's by Joseph Conrad, and it says, I don't like work, no man does, but I like what is in the work, the chance to find yourself, your own reality, for yourself, not for others. What no other man can ever know. They can only see the mere show and can never tell what it really means. And I love that because you never know what people put into things. You don't know how many hours they're putting into training. You don't know what their training looks like. You don't see that behind the scenes stuff, but the people who do, I take every day I get up and it may be hard for me to come in here and I feel like I'm failing, but I'm not. I'm learning, and each time it may feel like I'm taking a step back, but it's not like that. It's no matter what, I've learned something. I step out of the studio and I learned, okay, today maybe I don't train while doing this. So maybe today I realize that, I need to just take a break from this. But you're able to kind of push yourself past what you thought you weren't able to accomplish. So you come in, you put in the work, maybe it doesn't feel right and you fail, but maybe you come in the next day and now something's working a little bit more and you feel like you're finally getting it. So it just keeps me coming back and it keeps me wanting more and it keeps me not letting the failure, get to me, but it teach me and make me stronger and build me up rather than breaking myself down. So.
Yeah, big picture. Yeah. Don't focus on the tiny little setbacks because even those contribute to the final result.
Exactly.
Which is bigger and it's not going to happen in a day or a week.
Exactly. Exactly. If you can't break yourself down and put yourself back together and continue to do so, then you're just going to kind of stay where you are and you're never going to grow. It's like it just keeps you pushing. So I love that.
Yes, that's a great way to sign off, and it's been working for you. So, yeah. And it's, again, not that it's great to hear it, but it is always good to talk to people who are so successful from you to even hear, like, you have struggles along the way and, know that it's an uphill battle, but it's one worth fighting for.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Cool. Well, again, congratulations on all of your success recently, and so excited to see, where things take you moving forward. And I really appreciate you taking the time to be on the podcast.
It was awesome. I was very flattered that you actually wanted to talk to me and listen to me, about my life. So.
It's been really fun.
Yeah, it was so great.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Pole Parlour podcast. Want more? Visit poleparlour.com for show notes and to link to the Facebook group where you can connect with other poleaholics and continue the conversation. Listen to past episodes and subscribe to new episodes on the website, YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, or SoundCloud. Lots of love, babes. Thanks for listening.